So my daddy and I have been playing together for a long time. I was about 5.5 years old when my father realized just how brilliant a musician I was. Just kidding. I don't know what happened to that brilliance along the way, but back then I was freaking amazing. Now, why don't you tell him about this?
It's true. Marc was 5.5 years old. He had seen Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox. You know, Johnny B. Goode, a red guitar. In fact, my dad gave me a red guitar just like that when I was 16, and I handed it on to Marc when he turned 30 about 5 years ago at the House of Blues in New Orleans.
I'm glad you didn't give it to me at 16.
Oh, no way.
I'm really glad you didn't give it to me at 16.
In fact, I'm going to digress here.
I would have hawked it probably.
When he was about 16, I had a Yamaha guitar like this.
We don't need to tell him about that.
Pristine condition.
We don't need to
Pristine condition.
Let's just skip on.
And he comes to me, and I knew how he took care of instruments, not very well, you know.
It wasn't even my fault.
And he says to me, he said, "Dad, we're gonna have a bonfire tonight. Do you mind if I bring you a guitar?" Well, you can imagine what I'm thinking, right? He's gonna set the bonfire with this thing. So he goes and comes back, and the guitar's in the case for a couple of weeks, and I open it up, and there's a chip of wood missing from the sound hole.
The guy that I let borrow it and put it back in the case, and when he put it in, this little plastic piece on the strap, he put it in standing right against the sound hole. And when he closed it, it just chipped out a little tiny little thing.
Yeah,
just a little thing.
Of course,
I don't even know why you're telling this story.
You didn't tell me. Of course, you didn't tell me about it.
I didn't know about it.
So the piece was inside the guitar. You know, I showed it. I said, "Oh, there it is." I glued it back. You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell that it didn't chip. But anyway, back to 5.5.
No reason to tell these people that.
Marc is 5.5. He says, "Dad, I want to learn Johnny B. Goode." And of course, I played the song many times. I've never sung it. I didn't know the lyrics, so I printed out the lyrics on a dot matrix printer. I'll tell you how long ago that was. It's 30 years ago. About 30 years ago.
Yeah, 1987.
And I had a band at the time. We were
March 18th, 1987, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I had a gig. I had a band. I had a gig in Florida, and we made it a family vacation. And I said, "Okay, you know, let's go." So we headed over, and we got a condo, and I set up a keyboard. I play a little keyboard, and I said, "Come on over. We're gonna learn this song." You know, so he's you know, he couldn't read. So I had to teach him the words and the song. And he memorized the first verse about the first time through, and he's singing it very well. Second verse, the second time through, he memorized the second verse, and the third time, he got the whole song down. Brilliant. And I mean, he sang it perfectly. Of course, not in the voice like you just heard, right? It's,
that would have been frightening.
It was a pure voice. Yeah, that would have been. That's a 50-year-old black man coming out of the white house. Where'd it come from? Now you have to understand, by the way, I grew up with Otis Redding as one of my musical heroes, Wilson Pickett, Sam and Dave, all those guys. I love those guys. But anyway, we're over there. So. You know, I said, "Okay, we're going to do about the third or fourth time, maybe the fifth time through it." I said, "All right, come over here, we're going to do it again." So we start doing it in the key of A, right? So he sings the first verse in A perfectly. So the second verse, I go up to B flat. He sang it perfectly. The third verse, I didn't have to stop and say, "You need to sing a little higher." He knew. And I said, "Oh, brilliant." Not only does he have a wonderful voice, he's got a great set of ears.
Definitely.
And so we're going to do that for you right now.
Let's do it. Back up in the wood among the evergreens. country boy named Johnny B. Good. He never learned to read or write so well, but he could play the guitar just like a ringing bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go, Johnny B. He carried his guitar in a coolie sack, sit up in the trees by the railroad track. The Indians could see him sitting in the shade, rolling to the rhythm that the driver made. People passing by and they started to say, oh my, that little country boy can play. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go, Johnny.